Hello, ladies and gentlemen. gabestah here. Today we are looking at the Whose Queen Reigns Supreme achievement. And this is part of the Mastery series on the Heart of the Swarm campaign. It requires that you complete the Supreme mission in less than 12 minutes on hard difficulty. So I thought it was a pretty fun achievement and maximizing your use of Kerrigan, so let's get started. So I found this achievement to be quite a bit of fun. It's kind of cool just because you control such few units. It's not the normal build up your base standard fare. So the biggest tip I found for completing this after some trial and error is basically if your units that you gain along the way are alive and not really engaged in combat, so to speak, they will join you for the boss fight, whether they're near you or not. So that's the main rule. So what that basically means is when you gather some units, especially a big clump of them, leave them behind in a safe spot and just rush ahead with carrion. So you can see there I got some roaches initially, then I moved ahead and got a couple more before the end, and now they're all with me here for the boss. And that's really the biggest time savers. Not only do you skip all the mobs on the way, but then you have the majority of the army you would have collected to help you on the boss. And they do a lot of DPS. If you just try to solo with Kerrigan, you can sort of do it. You know, you won't die, but it takes a while. So tactically, nothing too special about this boss. I tend to try to keep my roaches clumped up near me so that I can heal them after they get random blasts of the, basic red attack that's going on there. And then I only actively move them when, I'm grouped with everything after the boss is down and we're trying to kill off the eggs. Or if the boss does his big fire attack, which is like a wave of fire that you have to move from side to side to avoid. Here's the one. So that will kill them really quick. So move out of most of that. But otherwise, just let them soak up the damage and heal it afterward. It's a lot more DPS on the boss rather than trying to move them. And whenever you have extra energy that doesn't need to be spent on a heal, use it on your leap attack from Kerrigan, as that's the highest DPS that she can do. So, boss is not too difficult. As soon as that boss is done, run southeast or southwest, and again you'll find some more mobs. Now, I made a mistake here. I thought that these mobs from the eggs would chase Kerrigan, but they chased my friendly units. So I lost a lot of units I could have had for the boss. So you'll see I don't need the time that I lost from it, but I would recommend moving those initial units. You get the roaches from the previous fight and the extra hydras. Move them all the way up to the top right away before you go down and break the eggs. And hopefully that will prevent the mobs from the eggs from aggroing and killing them. But that said, you'll get this last pack just before the boss. So make sure they stay somewhat next to you, heal them up, and then when you enter the room, they'll be with you here. Now this boss is kind of annoying. That poison stuff is sort of like the big fire attack from the last guy. It will destroy everybody. So I dodged that initial one, and then I just try to get as much DPS time as possible. But because of all the ads that are coming, it's really hard to keep everything else alive in your army. So I probably would have been better off just letting my army stay stationary and using Kerrigan to kill the ads while the army attacks the boss. And then they're just going to die off at some point because that poison is just too deadly. But that would buy me a little bit more DPS than what I got out of them because they're going to die anyway. So once the army that you were with dies, then you don't have to worry so much about Kerrigan's survival. The only thing that will kill her is if you stand in that poison for too long. But remember to use your charge as an escape mechanism to get out of the poison quickly. And then you can just heal yourself up a couple times. And try not to worry about killing these extra Zerg units that are on you. Focus on the boss, because obviously the sooner you kill the boss, the sooner it all ends. So once again here, same rule applies. Just leave that army behind. Macro something so you can select Kerrigan, or just remember to hit F3. And she's just going to rush through everything. So cut south here, you don't have to do anything else. The only tip is that there are a lot of creatures around here, and they can box you in if you're not careful. So again, make sure you save enough energy so that you can charge in case you happen to get surrounded. And, generally try to just charge through the big packs that meet you, and you'll be fine. Also, you see a leap up there. I don't know if it actually saves any time. Probably not. And there you go. Now my whole army's with me. So now, this part, again, stay stationary. I learned my lesson this time. Stay stationary most of the time with your army, using Kerrigan to clear out Banelings for a while, and then heal up when you can. The Banelings are eventually going to kill everything, but just try to let your army do DPS on the boss as long as they're alive. And they'll do quite a bit of damage in a short period of time, as you see there. And then once they're gone, again, finish her off with Kerrigan using her leap as much as you can, and then use the charge to escape when the Banelings are about to kill you. So that was probably the fastest boss fight there. This one also is very fast. Initially, grab everything and group it up kind of in the middle on Kerrigan. And for a while, you can survive slams just by healing between them. So if everything's near enough to Kerrigan, you can heal most of that damage. Eventually, the cooldown on the heal is not often enough, though. So then you'll have to actively micro things out of the slams. So like that big group there, no point in moving them. Just let them stand there in DPS. But you can see there, I think I kept everything alive until the end here. And so this boss just gets destroyed at that point. So yeah, with this boss and the previous one, with such a large army helping, keeping them alive, just maximize those heals and let the creatures do as much DPS time as possible. So Kerrigan acts as sort of a support unit in the boss fights in many ways. And it worked out pretty well. So there we go. Yeah, that is the Whose Queen Reigns Supreme achievement. So good luck, and thanks for watching.